Okay, so the purpose of this video is to hopefully help clarify something that a lot of people might be wondering. Now, basically, I like the Dolby surround effect. I've got a surround sound system, but obviously not all the time you can have it on, or you might be in the bedroom and you prefer to have a set of headphones and you want the best Dolby experience possible. The problem is I have noticed that having looked into this, I come across this, as you'd probably be aware, it's a HyperX Cloud 2 with this, which includes like an external sound card. And I'm sure you've seen it before. If you're watching this video, you probably have. And what it does is, I got it because I mainly play not on a PC but on a ps4 and Xbox One. And people I've noticed on forums or on YouTube have said things like, this is a new headset with this sound card and it works on a ps4. Now, it does work on the ps4, but they don't make it clear. Certain people have been saying you press this button, you get the 7.1, it does make a difference. Yes, it's true, it does make a difference, but it doesn't make a surround difference. This is the thing, this is the key thing. If you're thinking of buying this, I just want to make this clear, because this is what happened with me. I've already got a DSS2. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a Turtle Beach Dolby surround sound processor, and it is, in my opinion, excellent. I've had it years. I've got two of them actually, and both of them still work, and they're brilliant. They give a good atmosphere on your speakers, on your headphones. On my Xbox One, on my PS4, on my PS3, on my Xbox 360. They've never let me down. But I wanted to test it against something, because obviously when I started to hear people saying, oh yeah, if you plug it in, you press this, and then on your PS4 you'll get that surround sound effect, where you won't. I mean, it doesn't state that you should on the actual official site or anything. They will make it clear that this is only to be plugged into your controller via 3.5mm jack. So that is how you should use it on your consoles. But I just wanted to make sure people were aware before they do what I just wanted to test it. So I'm happy with the headphones, but I'm also happy with everything, because it does. I'll get to that bit in a minute, but at the moment, I'm happy in that respect to the headphones, the feeling, the quality build, the feeling on your head. It is comfortable, so I'm happy. But, and this is a big one, people are kind of stating that you can do this and it'll work. You'll get a difference. Now, when they say it makes a difference, trust them. It does make a difference, but it doesn't give you surround. Now, the only way I can explain this, because I'll get over to my DSS2 in a minute to compare it, because no one's really done that comparison, and that's why I got this to compare. And what it is, firstly, people have said you can plug this in and then turn your console on, and you've got to keep pressing this button till it lights up. Now, I don't know if it's different on a Slim, because I've got a PS4 Slim now, but I've plugged this in after it was powered on and it still worked. You could still turn it on and off. It didn't get stuck. The only way it gets stuck is if you press the headphone I found. The headphone up or down volume. If it was on and I clicked here, then I couldn't turn it off. If it was off and I clicked here, I couldn't turn it on, so it got jammed. So that is how it worked for me. But the only way I can describe the sound quality of the supposedly difference that they say is when you've got your stereo headphones in normally into the controller like this, you'll get that sound a very wide sort of left and right speaker only, and it will kind of like go sort of, say you're playing a first person shooter and you get the, and it, you know, heads off, you'll feel a difference. But as soon as I plug this in the PS4, and if I left this off, the 7.1 off, it would still be the same as normal stereo. It would just be normal left right. But if I turned it on, the only difference it made is it was more crisper, higher. The sound was heightened. It was crisper, but the problem is, imagine someone's walking here. You're stood around a corner on an FPS shooter, first person shooter. So you're waiting there. Now you'll know he's coming left or if he's coming right. But when I knew someone was coming from the right or the left, as soon as I pressed the 7.1 button, I expected it to give me like a heightened sound, but in a more of an atmosphere, more of a distance. But it didn't. It basically went from here and then it went and it just shot to the middle. So basically the only way to describe this 7.1 on a console is it's almost like turning your 5 point, or it says 7.1, but it's almost like, imagine your even your 5.1 setup where you've got your middle speaker, your left front speaker, your right front speaker, your right rear speaker, your left rear speaker, and you imagine everything is just normal, but then as soon as you press this button, everything goes to your center front speaker. It just, everything goes from one speaker and that's it. That's the end of it. It just doesn't do nothing else. So it does heighten the sound. It does make it quite clear and crisp, but the problem is it doesn't give you a surround effect. All it does is it's almost like turning two speakers into one, which seems quite pointless because on a console, like I say, that's not their fault. This isn't because of Kingston. You know, they're advertising it that way, because it's not. It's just that some people are stating that it works and it doesn't. I'm trying to be as honest as possible. I've tested it. I know the difference because this is why I did the comparison. Now, in comparison to my DSS2 Turtle Beach I've had for years, you put your optical cable in, and the thing is with the DSS2 is you can adjust the equalizer and also the angle of the surround to suit your ears. So you would have, if I can get the pages stuck, good. Hang on a minute, let's get this open. That's it. Right, so you see here you have a surround angle. Now when you click that up here, it will light up once. If it goes 1 2, it's 2, 1 2 3, it's 3, and each one has one. That's your angle, 30 degrees at the front left, front right, rear right, rear left, 105. You can adjust it to whatever angle you want. I usually have it here, but I'm actually playing around with it to try and make it a bit more back, because sometimes it doesn't, you know, they can sound a bit too close. But the atmosphere is so much better on the DSS2. When you go onto the equalizer, the other thing with the DSS2 is you can adjust the equalizer, which then obviously same thing applies, 1 2 3 4, and then if it goes 1 2 3 4 5 6, 5 and then 6, it adjusts flats, bass boost, aggressive bass boost, treble boost, aggressive treble bass boost, treble boost, bass and treble boost, aggressive bass and treble boost, mid-range boost, aggressive mid-range boost. So, you know, with the DSS2 there is a big difference in the way it actually it sounds. And this is why I bought this, because this HyperX, people were actually saying, oh yes, you press it on a PS4 and it does work, because it does actually say on the PS4, when you plug it in, it actually comes up under the sound devices for the plugin HyperX 7.1. But just because it says that don't mean say it's actually coming out like that. It's just saying that it's connected to a HyperX 7.1. And if you were to have a test of both of these, the DSS2 and the HyperX, on a console, the DSS2 is the one to go for sure. I mean, the Astros, I've heard Astros are good too, and I don't doubt that. But I can only go off what I've experienced, and between this and the DSS2 for a console, that is, then obviously the DSS2 is the way to go, or even an Astro if you wanted to and you knew much about them. But the only reason I did this video is purely because I didn't want people to get confused like so many others. You know, I needed to compare it because I've heard so many rumours that you could do, oh yes, you'll get surround sound, or yes, it makes a difference. And yeah, they're right, it does make a difference on your PS4, but not the way you think. It's just a height. I literally couldn't play a first person shooter with it on, put it that way, because when I was playing with it off, it was no different to me really having it in the headphones, in the controller, left and right speakers. I could tell where they were coming from in a way, left or right. But as soon as I played it with this on, it made the sound higher, but everything was coming from the centre, which meant that I didn't have any clue whether they're coming left, right, whatever angle. I just heard someone coming, and it was just a guessing game. So it did not help me at all, and I would not recommend, if you are getting it for just that reason, a console, do not bother, because unless you're not bothered about, you know, first person shooters. But personally, I think most people would be if they're sort of thinking of spending that sort of money. But if you did want it for something on a console, I would definitely look at trying to get you, if you can get hold of them anywhere cheap, is get one of these. I would definitely recommend this, because it does so much more to the feeling, and there's so much more you can do with it. I mean, the great thing about it is you've also got, like here, you can connect a normal device like a mobile phone with a normal 3.5mm jack to jack. And if you connect it via the auxiliary port, you can actually hear music with the game audio. But if you connect it to number 2 on the analog port, then you can process the music with surround sound. Now I've connected this to my mobile phone, and I've listened to a YouTube clip of a Dolby surround setup, and it does sound really good. I mean, it does make it more spacious, even through this jack without an optical cable. It makes a big difference when you turn it off, the surround here. If you turn that off, you notice it's just stereo, but as soon as you turn it on, it feels a bit more sort of spacious and clearer. So it's definitely worth connecting to this sort of device as well, mobile phone, for a big difference. I have tried this HyperX on the PC, and it is definitely better. It definitely works as it should be. It heightens the sound when you click it. It's not stereo, but it don't just heighten the sound, but it does feel spacious. It does work the way it should do, and that's how it should be on PC. So it does work. If you've got this and it is for the PC, it's fine. But if it's for a console, I just wanted to make it completely clear that if you hear comments saying, yes, it works on a PS4, it does make a difference. Please, please, please be aware that it does make a difference, but it does not make a surround difference. So if you're buying it thinking that you're going to get it delivered, pick it up, bring it home, plug it in, and you're getting instant surround, you will not. If anything, you're going to go from a kind of surroundy effect or stereo effect to just one speaker, because that's what I got. It does feel like a heightened center speaker, and that is really it. To be honest, there is no other way of putting it. It's like going from stereo to mono. It just a central speaker though, so I would not get it just for consoles. They're not advertising it to do that, but it's just people will make it a bit confusing for you. And I definitely have tried it, and I definitely know it works on the PC. The DSS2 works on the consoles, and it's really good. So personally, I'm going to keep it anyway. But I've also got a Yamaha amplifier, which is actually, it does silent cinema, which is a kind of processor mode. In the same way as a DSS2, it's supposed to give you surround sound. Now, I've never really properly tested it because I've just listened to my normal speakers, but I am going to do a test of that as well, and I'm going to sort of share that with you hopefully when I've done a thorough test, to see how good that is, really, the silent cinema, because I know the DSS2 does a really good job of giving you that atmosphere, especially on first person shooters like Battlefield and Call of Duty. And I'd like to know what the really silent cinema's like as a comparison. So yeah, I mean, just to let you know, that to be aware, do not get this purely for your PS4 thinking that you're going to get 7.1 surround, because you will not. You will have to, by the instructions, you will have to put it in to your controller as it states like this, and that's the only thing you can do. I personally, if you're in that position where you want it for a console, not a PC, then that or an Astro, maybe, I've never tried the Astro, is your best bet. The DSS2 Ear Force, if you can get hold of them cheap, then go for that. They are definitely, ignore the X12s. I mean, they just come with an old set 360. That's how it come with a package. When I got it years ago, I got an X12. The only problem with these X12s, I had to sell them because for some reason they always gave me a headache. I don't know why, I have no idea, but every time I used the X12s, this was years ago on my 360, I would get headaches. The DSS2 is completely fine. I use JVC headphones usually for them, but I have been using them with these new HyperX Cloud 2 headphones, which are work perfectly well. The only last thing I can honestly say is, if you do get it for a console, there is a bit of a dilemma you're going to be in, like me, and that is, once you go through the optical cable, you see you've got to plug it in, the optical cable one end and your headphones the other. Now, if you've obviously got these headphones with the mic, now you'd have to really go through the controller with your 3.5mm jack from the headphones to give you the mic and the obviously stereo sound. But the problem is, if you were to get something like this, the DSS2, like me, once you plug the headphones in this end, you can't actually use the microphone, because once you've got this in, you basically, you're getting your surround sound, so you're gaining your surround sound, but you're losing the mic ability for this particular model, because obviously it's connected here. So what I do, the only way I can get around that is, I know it's a bit of a pain, but I've got another a cheap PS4 headset. I'll just grab it now. If it's, oh no, sorry, it's not that one. It's this one. I picked it up quite cheap, and the sound quality is really good for the microphone, to be honest. But it's just a basic. It's a little bit like the Xbox Type 1, PlayStation. It's only a cheap one. But what I do is I plug this into my controller. I'll plug this into my controller, and I'll just have it around my neck. I'll just put this around my neck, and obviously it's got a mic that just folds out here. And what I'll do is I'll have this around my neck with the little mic just in front of me, and then I'll have my headphones over my head with the optical through the DSS2. So all I'm doing is I've got this right by my controller on my lap. There's no other wires between. It's only my headset then that goes through the DSS2. So the DSS2 will be providing me surround sound, but the headset will be giving me the sound for my microphone. So I'll lose the capability of the microphone of this, which is a bit of a pain, but in the process you'll actually gain. I mean, the quality of this mic is really good anyway. I mean, it's really clear when I talk through it. It just means you're losing the mic from this. So if it's not a first person shooter and you don't need the surround sound from the DSS2, you can go straight through to your controller and get both sound, stereo and mic together. But if you want an FPS shooter and you want the surround sound, then it is a bit of a pain, because once you plug it in here, it does make it hard, because you cannot use the microphone because it's through the headphone out jack. So you're gaining Dolby Digital, but you're losing the use of the mic on the actual on the headset. But you can use a basics sort of mic, and you know, if you've got a really good pair of headphones, you can just use your headphones in that DSS2. Obviously, if you don't have something like Cloud or whatever headset, it doesn't matter. You can just use a basic headset plugged into your controller, and then just plug your normal nice headphones from the DSS2, and you'll get surround sound with a mic. Okay, so I've got the PlayStation 4 cheap microphone that I was talking about connected to my phone, and I just thought I'd give you a comparison of what it would be like if you lost the function of the microphone from the HyperX Cloud 2. So I thought I'd do a comparison mic test for you. This is connected to my mobile phone for this recording. So at the moment I'm talking through the plain PlayStation 4 cheap microphone, which I said you could use if you would prefer to have Dolby surround with the DSS2. You could use these headset or a basic headset in the DSS2 for surround sound, and you could use a mic like the one I'm currently using to talk as your microphone instead of the one that's supplied with this, if you do have this. So I'm just going to take it off my head so you can see it. So I'm just taking it off my head, and this is far away now. So you can see these are the cheap PlayStation ones. And yeah, I'm just going to put them back on now. Okay, so these are the PlayStation 4 basic ones, so you know what they sound like. Now I'm going to change it over onto the Cloud 2s so you can see the microphone difference. Okay, so now I have the Cloud 2 headphones. The mic is pretty close to my mouth, so you'll be able to get an idea of what it sounds like compared to the basic headset if you have to change it, if you have to use a standard mic like this one, the PlayStation. If you do have to use a DSS2 for surround sound and you wanted to use a normal mic, this is a comparison. So I'm just going to take them off my head now so you can hear them, or see them I should say. Now these are the Cloud 2s. So now just going to put that down a sec. So I'm just putting them back on me by just tapping the mic. So that's near my mouth at the moment. So I just wanted you to see the comparison really. Okay, so I noticed that the sound was quite sort of boomy where it was near my mouth, so I'm just going to move it a bit further away. I'm just going to have it a little bit further away from myself. Probably that might be too far. If I just come to around this area, if I go for around this area, I just want to see which is the best sound quality, to see which is, this is about medium away from my mouth, and that's further away from my mouth now, so I want to see which is better. So I hope that makes it clear for you, I really do, because I just don't want people to buy the HyperX Cloud 2 on the basis for a PS4 stating that it will work as soon as you press it. It works for me. It works for me through the DSS2, but the PC, yes, this will work. But if you click it, trust me, you will not get the surround effect. You can listen to a YouTube clip, which I did, of a surround sound effect, and you will not hear. You will hear a big loud front speaker, nice and crisp and clear, but you will not hear the sort of movement around you. It will just take it away. So please do not buy this just for a PS4, because it will not give you what you think it does in surround sound. So as soon as I've done a video on the Yamaha amplifier, I'll hopefully upload that one, and I'll give you a comparison to see what silent cinema is like compared to, say, the DSS2. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.